What's up, haunters? I'm Alex, as always, and welcome back to the channel. So today is, of course, haunt build number 1 of the season, I guess. And to kick it off, today I have built this massive backdrop right here for my skeleton band for the haunted house. And today I'll be taking you through the process of how I built it and everything that went into it. So anyways, let's, of course, get right into it. Alright, so getting right into it, this is a project that I started back on spring break about 2 weeks ago. I kind of started it, but then I didn't do it for a few days and I just kind of forgot about it. Until this weekend, where today I was just at home, so I decided to work on it a bit. And yeah, I finally finished it. It looks awesome. We'll check out more of the detail about it in a minute here. But anyways, to kick off the video, I think it's best that we just start off with the original concept right here I have of what I plan to do for this. Then also just go over lots of materials I did. So if you want to do something like this at home, you know, kind of like the cost of it, what you need. So yeah, anyways, let's check out these plans and then get into some of the time lapses of me actually building this. So anyways, right here is the plan, which if you've been following my channel for a little while now, of course made a community post about this a little while ago. But basically this was my original idea for what I wanted to do. The reason why I want to do this is because I have this skeleton band in my haunted house each year, and it's always just a blank black backdrop behind them. It's never anything special. But like every contest I ever go to, they always have these really cool backdrops. So I decided that my skeleton band needed one. So I, of course, sketched this up, and overall it's a pretty cool design. I like the way I made it. Of course, if you look at the top right here, you can see the band's name, the skulls, and I want to do this really cool bone font right here. Also add just some lightning strikes up here to make it even cooler. Then right here at the bottom is really the cool part. This is some of like the sort of details I wanted on it to go along with the band, because you know, they're the skulls. Of course, it's the skeleton band, so we got the skull right there. It's kind of like their logo, I guess. Then of course, we also got the little tombstones there, kind of make it look like a graveyard. Then yeah, I also wanted the background to be sort of all black, because sort of the theme in my haunted house is there's a lot of like darker colors. It's not the most colorful, so I really want to do this nice black background. I of course divide this up into 12 different sections, of course, to make it so I can easily put this away, and then I basically just have 12 different panels to work with here. And yeah, that's basically what I did. So now getting a little bit into the materials that I have used. I of course also did a little thing up here how much I would assume it would cost. Of course, could do an estimate of around $25, which isn't too bad for how big this is. I think when I estimated, it's about like 7 foot by 7 foot, so it's a pretty big area to work with. Then of course you see the main things I bought for this is the boards, where I thought they were $1.25 each, but actually they're only $1 each, $1 round, which is pretty good. So times 12 of those, so really $12, and I got the 12 pieces of these like poster paper things, so that's not too bad price. Also need to get some paint for this, mainly white paint. What I want to do for like all these bone right here is I need a lot of white paint. It's all out, so of course got a lot of white paint for that, and here. Then also make gray paint. I got some black paint too to mix in with the tombstones right here. Then of course for the lighting up here, I already had some yellow paint lying around, so I didn't really need any more. Yeah, the paint, it's $1.50 each. I got 4, so it came out about $6. Then brushes. It's like $3 for one pack, which isn't too bad. So in total, spent right around $24 plus tax. So $25 for this whole project, which isn't bad. Then, of course, also coming over here, this is where I was working with today. You can see there's some paint on the ground I have to clean up. But basically right here, you can see the materials I was working with. I, of course, have the white paints right here. Then, I, of course, also have the black paint. And these were some of the brushes I used. I got a 3-pack of these, which these are kind of like if you're painting walls. They really help for some of the like big sectionals, especially like this skull right here. And then, of course, also got some of these like tinier painter's brushes to, of course, help with some of the smaller details on this. And then I also didn't think to buy these at first, but also did end up getting some Sharpies to, of course, do the borders on this and some of the little smaller details. And also some of this like fake moss right here I was using to customize some tombstones over there. Might make a video on that later. But yeah, that is pretty much all the materials I used. And yeah, basically right around $25 for all of this, which isn't bad. So anyways, that's kind of that. Now let's, of course, get into the time lapse of me actually painting this. And I'll explain the different steps I took. So anyways, let's cut to that. Alright, so in these first few clips right here, this is where I was kind of doing the lettering for the backdrop, where of course use that awesome bone font, which I think looks really cool. And basically to do this, I just drawn out with pencil the outlines for where exactly I wanted the different letters and everything to be. And then also after these clips that I recorded, also went over it again with the Sharpie just to give it that nice sharp outline, which you of course see in the final product. But overall, I think it's really satisfying watching me paint this. So yes, watch the rest of the time lapse of me doing this. And then, of course, next up here, we got a little quick clip of me painting in the light bolt right there, which was pretty easy to do. It's just a small thing up in the corner. But then moving on to the next few clips right here, this is where I was drawing in the tombstones, which these are probably the easiest things I drew because it's just straight lines, so I could easily paint them on. But yeah, I also went over these again with the Sharpie afterwards and added those cracks and then just the outline, give that sharp detail. But yeah, just watch the rest of me paint these tombstones. Alright, and then the final clips right here is of me painting the skull on, which for the first part of this, I just did the overall outline of the skull and did this white, just blank look over the whole thing. And then after these clips of me painting in just the white part of the skull, I went over it again and then painted in those black parts like the eyes, nose, mouth. And then of course also, again with this, I went over it again with the Sharpie just to give it that nice sharp look. And overall, I like how the skull here turned out. Alright, and now with the design process and everything out of the way, now we can really take a look at all the awesome detail in this because this is really detailed. I love how it turned out. Let's of course start over here with the big letters I of course did. I did this really cool bone font, which I'm not sure if that's like a real font or not. I just kind of came up with it, but basically each letter is made out of these bones. Of course, some of them, it's a little bit exaggerated, like the U, like, bones don't usually have bends in that, or like the S, but yeah, I really like the look of how it turned out, especially after I did that Sharpie. Like, you can see just how sharp those edges are, and then, of course, at the tips of each of them, those just little lines going in to give it more of that bone shape. But yeah, basically, yeah, the panel up there, the one panel right up there, that one I just left blank, which, honestly, don't think it really needs anything there. Also had the little lightning strike right there just because it kind of felt empty up there in the corner, so I want something. And then, of course, all these panels like I showed you, the skulls. Then getting into the bottom right here, this is another one of the like really cool parts. I love this. Of course, we have the tombstones on each side. Right here, we have the RIP one. Got these cracking details in it, and yeah, it looks awesome. Then, of course, the other tombstone on the other side, we of course got the cross right here, which looks awesome. Also got lots of those cracks in there, and I like the gray colors on it. It looks nice. Then you have that big white skull right there, which turned out a little bit different from my original plans, but honestly, I don't hate how it looks. It looks really awesome, the design that ended up turning out. The original design, I just kind of copied that off my computer. I didn't really do that original, so I didn't expect it to turn out perfectly on here, but yeah, it still looks really awesome. I think it might be cool too if I had a crack up there. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. But yeah, overall, this is an awesome backdrop. This is gonna look so cool in the haunted houses here. And usually how I have the skeleton band there is I have the two guys, of course, have the one on the drums, which you have the little Guitar Hero drum set right there that I uses. Gonna have to do a little bit of repaint on that though, but yeah, we of course have the two guys, so we'll probably have one on each side of this. Then you always have these special lights that shine on it too that can flash multicolor and everything, so I think the white details will really pick up that light on it, which will be nice. And then yeah, just have it black too, just go along with the rest of the theme of the haunted house, so it'll be nice too. But yeah, overall, this is an awesome backdrop and great for the first project of the haunted house this year. Next up, I'm probably going to move on to doing some stuff with the skeleton band. Like, I don't know, you kind of want to fix up the drum kit, the other guy want to fix up his guitar, and then the two skeleton guys I have for the band too, I kind of want to customize them a little bit maybe. I don't know, give them some clothing or something, just something cool to make them look better. Then yeah, just figure out anything else I need to add for the skeleton band because there's probably a lot of other cool stuff I could add to make it a little bit more realistic band looking. But anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Of course, if you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I will, of course, see you all in the next video, which might be another haunt build. Probably won't be. I probably won't have another haunt build out for a week or two. But anyways, I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.